Hi-ho, how you doing, class? Why not a minute early, Leanne? I could tell you folks are starting to chat and talk about things, so I wanted to go ahead and jump in the discussion. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome to my orientation. Looks like we got about half the class here. I'm a little disappointed. I was really hoping for closer to 30 students. Maybe some of you will come in at the last minute. Hi, Lacey. Good to see you. Etta, good to see you. Leanne, Violetta, it's good to see you again. How's everybody doing? Is my sound coming through clear? Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can see me. Looks like my CPU usage is low enough, so everything should be good. Madison, hi. Bree, good to see you. Deja, Etta, Courtney, it's good to see everybody. Wow, thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for coming tonight. Hopefully y'all have had an opportunity to take a look at the course so far. It looks like most of you have probably logged in. This is my new fancy hat. Check it out. Leather. Ooh. I got myself a pair of cowboy boots too, Etta. I just lost my mind over Christmas. I don't know. I went from the black cap to the nice leather cap. Nope, it's a new one. It's a new one. Okay. I also got a new earring too. My wife doesn't necessarily care for it, and that's why I got it. Cool. Meredith, I am looking forward to having you. 21 here. Not a bad crowd tonight. Not a bad crowd tonight. Yes, I did get a little Santa. Yep, sure enough. Okay, so welcome to my YouTube classroom. I'm going to be teaching from this YouTube classroom 2 times a week for your pleasure, and recording videos that you can watch afterwards. You can either come live and hang out with me and chat like you're doing right now in the chat bar, or you can watch these recordings later. And what I'm going to try to do is teach you all about developmental psychology as if you were sitting in the classroom. Hopefully you will find value in this. A lot of students, you can see them in the chat bar right now, they're talking about how much they liked it. I found it to be a great time, and they did too, and I hope you liked it too. You're actually sitting in my office right now here at Wake Tech. You see my bookshelves behind me. My office mate is not here, and this is my live stream video office. You can't see it right now, but if I turn it around, let's see, and go with my image, there you go. This is my office. You can see I've got 3 screens. The middle screen is where I'm running the broadcasting software. On the right is my YouTube page, and then on the left is my little laptop where I am watching the chat as we talk about. As I lecture, you're going to be noticing me looking around. Sometimes I'm going to be looking over here watching my chat bar. Sometimes I'm going to be talking to you in the camera. Sometimes I'm going to be looking down here. I apologize if I'm not always looking at the camera, and I apologize if I miss a chat every once in a while. But I've got a lot of things going on in my live stream studio. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right. So, you know what, Crystal? Give it a couple of weeks and you'll get to know everybody too. I promise. All right. So, what I wanted to do was take a couple of minutes and walk you through my Blackboard class. Those of you who've taken my class already understand the structure. I hope it doesn't get boring. Actually, Etta, Leanne, and I forget the other students who took my 150 class last semester, Violetta. You can act as helpers, teachers' helpers. As the students type questions in, you can answer those questions for them, okay? Now, I'm not going to be able to see my chat bar for next few minutes. So if you would, hold your questions till I get done talking, and then I'm going to stop and give you a chance to ask questions. Does that sound okay? Okay, cool. So without further ado, I'm going to go to my screen share and show you. Okay, so you're logging into Blackboard. You click on, you'll find your course list and click on Site 241-018, and that will bump you into this classroom right now. Let's go ahead and put it on student mode so you can see, so I can see what you're seeing. All right, now you're right here on the announcements content page. I don't know if you know this, but Blackboard is divided into a content page and then tab bars, and you see as I scroll over them, they all get highlighted. Right now, we're at the announcements. That's my start page. And you'll notice there's a manual for virtual orientation. If you want to come back and review this orientation later this weekend, all you have to do is click on this link right here, and it will take you to a recording of the video that I'm making right now. But let's go to the Getting Started folder. Okay, so first things first, take the course entry quiz. You'll notice it's written in red. Red is an important color. Anything that is red in this class is something that's a graded assignment. So anytime you see red, you need to know that you have to do something in my class. Now, if it's black, it's informational content that's helping you learn. You're going to need to read that. And occasionally I'll put things in blue. And those things are optional. If you don't want to watch my optional video and learn about my family, doesn't bother me, it's optional. So red, blue, and black are going to be the colors. First thing I want you to do, and it looks like about 65% of you, I think it was 27 out of 43, have already done this. You click on that link and it's going to take you to the course entry quiz. Now you'll notice this is also a tab area. You could come straight here if you want. Please take the course entry quiz. If you do not take the course entry quiz by January 19th, you will be dropped from this class. I have absolutely no leeway. You must do that course entry quiz. Here's the cool thing. It's a 10-item true-false quiz about your knowledge of Blackboard, and I don't care if you pass it or not. Make a 10, make a 20, I don't care. You still get credit for joining this class. It's your official way of entering this class. Think of it as an attendance item. Now, you can take it as many times as you want if you're one of those people that needs to see 100 in your grade book. Completely fine with me. You do what you need to do, okay? So that's the course entry quiz. Once you do that, okay, I want you to go back to the Getting Started folder, and you'll notice that, let's see, we're in the Getting Started. Scroll down here. You know what? All of you have joined Remind. Thank you very much. I've got 43 out of 44 of you have joined Remind. And I have put extra credit in almost everybody's grade book. Go back and look in the grade book. If you join Remind and have not gotten extra credit, please send me a text using Remind, and I'll make sure to give you your extra credit. Thank you to everybody for doing that. Now, for those of you who are new, I want to show you another feature of my office, and it's called my whiteboard. Sometimes in the middle of lecture, I might decide that I want to write something else out. So I forgot to say that 27 out of 43 of you did the course entry quiz. Now, that's a 65 percentage point rate, okay? Right? And you know what? That's a D. That's a D. You heard the boo birds. It's a D. I need 100% from you by this weekend, so get that knocked out. Oh, and by the way, I changed this as 42 out of 43 because somebody dropped. 97% of us have done the course entry exam, right? And that is fantastic too. Thank you very much for doing that great work, all right? So here's the book that you folks will need to get. If you don't have the book, you probably should think about getting the book. Please do not buy any course access, anything else. Buy the cheapest copy of this book you possibly can. If you can get a cheap digital copy and you want that, do that too. Now, if you can't find this edition, this is the 17th edition. Rather than not get a book, I'd rather you get the 16th edition. But please get a book to follow along in case you need reference, or actually it would be best if you read the whole book, but you'll do what you'll do, right? Now, here's the deal. Some of you were talking about the optional webinars. Ladies, Leanne and Etta, the reason I had multiple webinars for Psych 150 is because I had 150 students and I couldn't have everybody in the same webinar. This is a much smaller class, so our webinar is going to be, uh-oh, goodness me. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. You know what? I switched this webinar. Let me go back to it. Getting started. I switched the webinar to Wednesday nights at 8. Wednesday nights at 8. Hold on. Let me quickly fix that. Holy cow. What? Tuesday webinar. That is going to be Wednesday. Okay. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. How many of you have a problem with this? It will just be one webinar. One webinar. Oh, it's very tiny. Do I need to make it bigger? How does that help? Does that make it better? Let me know. What do you think? Okay. Here's the deal. So, what we're going to have is I'm going to do a lecture on Monday uh, at 1 p.m. and I'm going to do a lecture on Wednesday at 1 p.m. And then Wednesday nights, I'm going to have an optional webinar at 8 to 8:45. Now, here's the deal, class. And Leanne, this is what I was mentioning earlier to you. This is a fully interactive class I have. If you want, you can get the full classroom experience. You can come listen to a lecture on Monday and a lecture on Wednesday, and then Wednesday night we can get together and have group discussions. And if you do that every week this semester, it will feel almost like you're sitting in a seated class. But if you don't have the time or the interest to do that, okay, you can watch the videos recorded and you can do the discussion boards. You do not have to it's a different lecture. Thank you. You do not have to come to these live events. They are just for those students who want to do them. Okay? Now, here's the problem. And Leanne, this is what I mentioned earlier in my other class. I have a serious medical emergency that I have to deal with this semester. Unfortunately, over Christmas, I was diagnosed with throat cancer. Yes. And I am going to have to undergo chemotherapy and radiation therapy this semester. Now, I talked to the doctors, and this is a fairly treatable form of cancer, so I'm not going anywhere, Leanne, so don't get nervous or uptight. But I am going to be rather sick this semester. Now, what I could do is I could have just canceled all of my live events for the semester. And I could have just treated this as a regular online class. Okay? I thought another option would be to start it this way and see how long I could do it live before I have to switch to recorded material. Okay? Now, this may have been the wrong decision, but I decided to start this class live and to do it as long as I can. Now, I look super duper healthy and happy right now. I'm a vibrant 51-year-old man. Now, from what I'm told, chemotherapy and radiation therapy is going to wipe me out. I'm going to start the second week of class. By February, I'm going to be pretty sick, and by March, I'm probably going to be really sick, okay? And I'm not going to look great. Now, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to lecture and participate as much as I can until, because they're radiating my throat, and I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore. Is that okay? Yeah, it's no big deal. And I didn't say that because I wanted you to feel sad for me. I just wanted you to know what could potentially happen this semester. I'm going to start this course and we're going to try to do it just like normal, but you're just going to have to understand that over the course of this semester, I'm going to deteriorate a little bit, okay? And it's going to happen. It's just a part of the treatment, and I'll be better in late April, but in March and February, I'm not going to be doing so well, okay? Cool. So here's the deal. The first thing I'm going to get rid of, and I'm going to go back and show you this stuff, the first thing I'm going to get rid of is the discussion, is the Wednesday night webinar, okay? Now, I will do it as long as you come and participate. But if you come to the webinar and you folks just sit around and make me do all the talking and it gets boring, I'm going to bail out a little bit quicker than I would. But if you folks are as excited as last semester's Tuesday night class, if you're having as much fun, I will do it till I'm almost dead. You know what I mean? That's how much effort I'll give you. But it's going to depend upon how much effort you give me back. Fair enough? And I'll do my best as long as you do your best. Yeah, it sucks, but what are you going to do, right? I'm just going to kick it in the butt if I can. All right, so there's a weekly. Okay, so you know what? Let's just go ahead and go up here to the lessons folder. This is where you're going to find all of the work every week. All right, so if you go to this folder, you can scroll down. Here's the exam folder. It's going to have all the exams in this class. These exams, you can't see them just yet. Because they're unavailable. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should go back to student preview again, so we can see. So if you go in the exam folder, it's going to be empty right now. But your folder, your exam, will become available Friday mornings of the week it's due. Of the week it's due. All right. Oh, you know, let me show you the schedule. So I've got a syllabus and schedule folder right here. This is the full syllabus with the 12 pages of regulation that Wake Tech makes me publish, and it's in there. But then I also pulled out all the stuff that's going to be really interesting to you. So there are going to be 15 weekly homeworks. If you do the weekly homeworks, they're 40% of your grade. Each week you're going to have to do a discussion board or come to a webinar. That's worth 10% of your grade. Okay? There are going to be 3 midterm exams. Each one of them is worth 10%. And then there's going to be a final exam that's cumulative that is worth 20% in this class. If you look right here, each week I have the schedules. So this week we're going to do Chapter 1. I'm going to do a lecture on Monday for Chapter 1, and I'm going to lecture on the second half of Chapter 1. And each one's going to have its own PowerPoint. And each week I'm going to cover a different lecture. Okay? Here are the homework and collaboration due dates. Collaboration's always due on a Thursday. Homework's always due on a Friday. Okay. Exam 1 is February the 7th. Covers chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you see when each exam's due. It's always going to be due on a Sunday night. So you'll have the weekend to work on them. And these are the chapters that they're covered. And then these are the general topics of the webinars, although I am trying to change them and make them a little bit better, so it might not line up perfectly correct. Okay, let me go back real quick. Does anybody have any questions on that? No problem. I'm definitely happy to do this. In fact, one of the things I thought that doing this would actually help me. You know what I mean? Rather than sitting at home being alone and lonely, it'd actually be better to drag myself into class and try to do this, you know? Okay, does anybody else? You're my old timers, so you know it. What about my rookies? Kinsey, Lane, Bree, any of you have any questions? Yes, I am going to use Respondus for your midterm exams. However, your homeworks, which count 40% of your grade, are open book and untimed. You can spend the entire week doing them. You can only turn them in once, but you can take as long as you want, and you can stop them and start them as long as you want, okay? And when I make the homeworks up and the exams up, I look through the PowerPoint slides that I've given you, okay? Cool? Sounds fair? Okay, great. Well, let me go back to the screen share in my class. Okay, so those are the schedules. Now, here's the deal. You're going to do all your work in the lessons folder right here. You'll see the exam folder with the exam due dates, and then at the top of the folder, you'll see week 1. Now, on January the 18th, I'm going to take this week 1 folder, and I'm going to slide it all the way down to the bottom of the modules lessons folder. Okay, if you want to go back and do old work or study for the exam, you go to the bottom to find the old things. So you'll always see the newest week on top. When you click on it, there's a learning outcomes. When I do the homework, I look at these learning outcomes, I look at the PowerPoint presentation, and I have the textbook open in front of me. So looking at these learning outcomes and following along in the PowerPoint presentation is really going to help you do a good job on your homeworks and prepare for the exam, okay? Now, you'll notice it's in blue. This is the chapter resources. This is optional. You do not have to watch these videos or look at these websites. But if you do, some of you who are more curious than others may find these interesting. So the surprising mental toll of COVID. There's a really cool study. They followed these kids since they were 7. Every 7 years, they come back and do video interviews with these kids to find out what happens when people grow up. And they followed these kids since they were 3. And this is 63. They called it 7 up. And this is 63 up. They're back seeing these kids as they are 63-year-old adults. And they flash back to when they were kids and young teens. And you see how people grow up. And it's really quite crazy. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, it's pretty bizarre, Kinsey. It'll blow your mind. You know, it's weird how people grow up. So you might, and what I'm going to try to do every week is provide you videos that might make you go, wow, I'm not going to provide you just your basic tutorial videos because that's boring. I'm going to try to shock you, stimulate you, and make you go, oh, wow, every time. Okay? Because I think that's the best way to do it, right? You know what I mean? That's what I want to hear you say every week. I want to hear you say
Wow.
that, right? That's what I'm looking for, Kinsey. Okay? No, there is no. Good question. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. All right. That's a great question, though, Ashley. Let me go back to the screen share. Okay, now you'll notice there's a Monday lecture and a Wednesday lecture. The lectures are at 1 p.m. every Monday and Wednesday. If you click on this link at 12:59, like this, it will pop up and you will see my smiling face saying, hello, welcome to the lecture. Now, if you can't make it at 1 o'clock, that is completely fine. You come back anytime later that week and click on this link, and it will be a recording of the lecture that I did live. If you want to ask questions and talk to your student friends and have fun, you come live. If you just need the information, you can watch them recorded on time and a half speed and get it done even quicker. You'll notice that there's a PowerPoint that goes with each lecture. So during the lecture, I'm going to be scrolling through a PowerPoint. You're going to see a PowerPoint down here on the screen below me. I'm trying to point that way. I'm a little confused video-wise. You're going to see down there, and that PowerPoint I will give to you so you can use after the lecture or you can follow along. Now, after you do that, you will need to do the collaboration activity. You can do it one of two ways, actually one of three ways. And if you people want to ask questions, Ashley, Leanne, and Etta and Violetta can answer these questions. So I'm just going to keep lecturing. You can complete your collaborative activity one day, one of three ways. You can click on this link right here, and it will take you to the collaboration discussion area. And you'll notice week one discussion board. I don't know if you folks have ever done a discussion board. Most of you have. You click on the link. You create a thread. First, you read the prompt that I gave you. Watch the video links if I give them to you. This is a 5-minute read article, and this is a 2-minute video, so it should take you about 7 minutes. And then you answer this question right here. Before you can see anybody else's response, you have to create your own thread of 50 words. After you do that, you then have to respond to, then everybody else's responses will appear, and you have to respond to 2 other people in order to get full credit. You have to make 3 comments to get credit for participating in the discussion board. Now, what most students prefer to do is come to my webinar on Wednesdays. So oh crap, and I didn't fix that. I'm sorry. I was going to do it on Tuesday nights, but then I've got medical therapy coming up on a Tuesdays, and I'm not going to feel like it on Tuesday nights. I am so sorry for that. So my website's a little bit confused. Credola. God knows I've got that on Tuesday. I'm going to get that fixed this week. Collaboration activity, discussion board, attend the weekly webinar. We're going to edit that. It's going to be on Wednesday nights. You should have gotten a notice in your mail. You should have gotten an announcement in your email about this. We're going to meet. We're going to meet in Microsoft Teams. We're going to meet in Microsoft Teams, not YouTube, but we're going to meet in Microsoft Teams. If you log into your student email and click on the calendar part and go to the 8 o'clock Wednesday night, you will see the Teams meeting. Click on that link and you will join the meeting, okay? For this week, you're going to watch, you're going to read a short article, you're going to watch that video I talked about, and we're going to discuss this particular issue in class. Now, the deal with the webinars, I'm going to do all the talking on Monday and Wednesday afternoons. I want you to do the talking on Wednesday nights. This is where I'm going to decide whether or not it's worth my time to keep doing this with you, okay? I'm going to expect you folks to have prepared to watch the videos or read the links that I've told you and come in interested and ready to talk about the issue. Now, I'm going to try to do my job by making the topics interesting, okay? And if my topics aren't interesting, you should feel free to let me know, because my goal is to make topics that you want to talk about, right? So we're going to kind of work together to make sure that the stuff we talk about is really, really interesting. Now, some of you want to get extra credit. You know what? If you do a good job on the discussion board and you come to the weekly webinar, I will give you 1 point extra credit on your attendance grade. And I screwed that up as well. 15 points. 15. Oh, dear Lord. Y'all heard sound effects, didn't you? I apologize. I've got my sound effects on the numbers. Okay? So let me go back. Does anybody have any questions about the discussion boards? Is everybody good with the discussion board? Shit. I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot when I start typing on this, I have smart keys set up, and that screws me up. I apologize for that, folks. Okay, so let's go back to the screen right here. So that's the collaboration activity. Now, Ashley asked, where is the homework? That is a very good question, Ashley. That is a very good question. So let's go to week 1. Here's the deal. The homework assignment is going to be available at 9 p.m. tonight. I wanted to wait until I finished having this talk before I made it available. And here's the deal. Those of you who are planning to use, what's that thing called? Those of you who are planning to use Quizlet this semester to complete this class are going to be disappointed. I have all new questions for the exams and the homeworks. Quizlet will not do you any good this semester. Wah, 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 wah. I apologize for that. I hate it that I have to spend time. I hate it that I have to spend time doing this because I know students put my exam questions and my homework questions up on Quizlet, and then the exam and the quizzes are virtually no good next semester. Now, I hate it that I have to spend time doing this because I'd rather spend the time creating cool educational devices for you students, but I understand students are going to be students. And so from now on, every semester, I'm going to be creating 500 new questions for this class. It's kind of a bummer, but oh, Crystal, I haven't given you a shout out yet. Whoop, whoop, Crystal Bishop in the house, yeah, woohoo! All right, everybody, can we please give Crystal a round of applause? There you go. Okay, right in the middle of a serious topic. So here's the deal. I understand you folks are going to put my stuff up on Quizlet. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do for me. You are competing against the other students in this class. That is to say, if my grades are low, I'm going to curve them up. If it looks like my grades are too high, I'm going to start making quiz questions that are harder because I need to get some students I need to get a distribution of students. So you, in a sense, are competing against your classmates. If you do the homework on Monday and put your Quizlet questions up on Monday night, all the students who do the homework after you will be able to cheat off of you and get a better grade than you. Does that make sense? So, what I need you to do is to at least wait until Friday after the homework is due to do your Quizlet posting. Does that make sense? Right, I know. You know what? Students do it, and it's the world we live in. No big deal. I mean, and I'm just going to ask you to at least wait. I had a student in my developmental class last semester who told me, yeah, that's exactly what I do. And so that's cool, but I just want you to at least wait till the week is over so that you don't screw yourself over. Because if Tommy copies off of you and gets a better grade at the end of the semester, and I don't offer a curve because there are too many Tommies, then you will have punished yourself. Does that make sense? No, Etta, unfortunately, that is the one thing that I decided to go ahead and cut out of the semester. Um, we used to have in my intro class last semester, I had a weekly trivia game that the students played, but I'm just physically not going to be able to manage that. I cut that out of my intro class. I cut my webinars out of my intro class. They're not getting anything like what you folks are. I'm giving you folks the red carpet treatment because you're more advanced students, typically better students. But no, I'm definitely not going to be doing that for them. I'm sorry. That was a ton of fun, though, right? Okay. And Ashley, didn't you win it? Did you win it last semester? No, there are going to be different. There are going to be different exam questions too. That is a very good question. Hey, what's up, Nicole? How are you doing? You just lurking tonight? It's good to have you. Actually, I don't think Nicole Ortiz is actually in this class. She's my intro student from last semester. She just decided to stop in and say hello. It's so good to see you. I hope you had a good Christmas and aren't too stressed out. I know you worked some long hours over Christmas. I saw that. That's kind of a bummer. Well, let me get back to the lecture real quick. Let me see. So now we are at the screen share. Okay, so you're going to do your homework. All right. So the learning outcomes, the chapter resources, the lectures, and the homeworks. Is everybody clear on how that's going to work? And what we're going to do is every week we're going to repeat the same process over. Lecture 1, Lecture 2, webinar, discussion board, homework. And then after the fourth week, on the week of February the 1st, that Friday morning at 9 a.m., your first exam is going to pop up, and it's going to be available to you all weekend long. Okay? You know what? One last thing. If you would, when you send me emails, do you see there's a button here on Blackboard called Email Chris? I've got it set up so if you click it open, it already opens to an email addressed to me. Now, the neat thing about this is I have 168 students, so sometimes I don't remember what section or what class you're in. But if you send me an email through Blackboard, the subject line contains the class you're in. It makes it easier for me to help you super duper quickly. So if you could do that. Also, my son, Chris Roddenberry Jr., is a student here, and usually about 20 or 30 times a semester, he gets emails from students that are for me. So just make it easier on yourself and use this particular function right here. All right, so that's all I had to say. Do you folks have any questions for me? We need a group chat for this class so we can find out when we do homework. Right, that's a good question. You know, folks, Leanne was really good last semester about setting up a study group and a group chat. For those of you who feel like you're going to need social support in this classroom, somebody to study with, somebody to ask questions, somebody to get notes from, you should definitely hook up with Leanne. She is really good about that. You know, the neat thing, Nicole, she's lurking here to say hello tonight. Her and Ashley Guthrie. Ashley is in the class, but her and Nicole met last semester, and they and about 3 other people are super duper friends. So I've gotten several groups of students that have actually made really good friends. And frankly, Leanne is one of my good friends too. She likes to call me Hot Rod, and I love to hear it. So sounds like a match made in heaven, right? Okay, so do you folks have any questions for me? I'm going to probably log off if you don't have any questions. You can contact me via Remind text if you want, and I'll stay on chat for about 2 or 3 minutes after I stop this broadcast to answer any last questions. I really look forward to meeting you folks this semester, and I hope we are going to have a ton of fun at least for the next month or month and a half, right? Who knows, maybe longer. Ashley is definitely ready. Oh, you are so hilarious, Ashley. Um, oh, yeah, so I hope you had a good Christmas. And I got other things to talk to you about later, Ashley. Folks, y'all have a great evening. It was awesome seeing you. Oh, no problem. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you and getting to know you just as much as you want to get to know me. If you want to be hidden in this class and don't want to talk to me, it won't hurt my feelings. Just go on and do your business. But if you want to spend time texting me and getting to know me and the rest of the students, we'd love to have you join the family. Okay? Thank you very much, ladies. All right, folks, I'm going to log off. Y'all have a great evening. Bye-bye.